My dear people of Southern Cameroons, brave warriors of our liberation struggle, accept revolutionary greetings from me, Comrade John Ba Akuro. This third day of September in the year 2021. My dear brethren, today we shall be having a very important and very interesting conversation. For some time, we have been having a lot of discussions on the various forums, a lot of talk on media about Nigeria and Cameroon coming into tandem to undo the people of the southern Cameroons or the people of Ambazonia. My dear brothers and sisters of the southern Cameroons, this conversation today will have a lot to do with, what I call hot air. And so as you settle down to listen or to watch this conversation, keep an open mind because I assure you that the mere fact that La République du Cameroun should go now to seek Nigeria's assistance 5 years after publicly. They've been doing so covertly and giving the impression that no, they were just having diplomatic talks about whatever. But this time, they've had to come public. That is a clear demonstration of the fact that a prophecy is already in motion. I'm coming back to it, my people. And I like, before getting to that, to get through some other minor but equally very important subject matters. But listen, the most important of this all is that we are a few days only to October 1. Usually, because of the time we spent in La République du Cameroun, a country that, has won the world trophy for improvisation over and over and over, sometimes we have found ourselves almost improvising. That we may want to wait until it is 3 days to October 1 for start saying, oh my goodness, it's like October 1 is in 3 days. So what are we going to do? My people, we have been thinking and thinking and thinking. As you can see, a lot of our organizations, movements, and in short, all other groupings in this our liberation struggle coming together to ensure that we have a befitting October 1 celebration. Befitting enough to tell the rest of the world, to send a strong message to the rest of the world that Southern Cameroons, that Ambazonia has arrived. I see it and I laugh, my people. This is because a lot of those who did not imagine, who did not believe, who did not even think that by 2021 we will be talking Ambazonia getting closer and closer, some of them are beginning to wonder what substance we are made of. Some of them are beginning to wonder what is happening to the mighty Cameroon with its deity, Paul Biya. Listen, my people, every single day that is passing is taking us closer and closer and closer to our objective, to the victory that we all seek. This is why, my dear people of the Southern Cameroons, I like us to take note that October 1, 2021 must send a message, a far stronger message than even the one we sent on the 22nd of September 2017, which was likely replicated on the 1st of October 2017. This 2021, it has to be what some of our comrades used to call Mami Wata kind of celebration. But on this particular occasion, we will launch a big project. And I want to invite each and every one of us to be part of this project. You don't have to be tired. You don't have to say you are taking the back seat. My people, you must be part of this project. I know. Listen, Akumbaka is the next big thing in town. You will hear it on October 1. Every place you pass, you hear Akumbaka, my people, I invite each and every one of us who is watching me now, make sure you bring in your contribution to let us realize this project. Listen, others came before Akumbaka. Today, every other person is claiming patronage of those projects. Every other person is claiming it is us doing it or it is whatever we're doing that is bringing it. Today, I'm talking to you about Akumbaka. My people, I laugh because after October 1, every other leap and every other forum will be talking Akumbaka. This project is big, but not that kind of size that will overcome us. For us to make this project a great one on October 1 and give October 1 the flair it deserves, we need just $6,000. I mean, just 6,000 for Akumbaka. You can see there how you contribute. If you're doing Zelle, use amberrelief2018@gmail.com. PayPal, you use the same email. If you want to deposit your own money at the bank directly, you have the Bank of America. You have the routing and the bank account. Listen, don't sit behind. And later you start saying, but if I knew this was the expanse of this project, I would have put my money in it. Please, Akumbaka is the next big thing in town. I would definitely come back in the course of this broadcast. Now, I want to get a bit out of, October 1, because we will talk October 1 almost every other day. In your heart, in your home, at your job site, everything you are doing, let October 1 continue to ring in your ears, because October 1, 2021 should be the moment to announce much louder, because we have been announcing in a very loud manner, but this time much louder to the world that Southern Cameroon's Ambazonia has arrived. Not that it is arriving, that it has arrived. Listen, I want us to have a moment to remind some of these people who still continue to want to drag us behind because they're imagining that there is something good that can still come out of La République du Cameroon. Shy of those few elite who are part of the 1% eating all the resources in that country, there is nothing that will ever come to you. You want evidence? For 5 years today that this movement has been on, if La République du Cameroon were a serious country, they would not only be making promises, they would have been doing action. Listen, what is the worth of a prime minister coming from a region if his presence in that star building cannot bring development? What is the worth of a director general coming from a county if his presence in that company cannot bring the development that the people need? What does it translate to you? Does it put bread on the table for your family? Does it provide to us the farm to market roads we need to get produce from the farms to the market? Or they come and deceive you is, oh, I have appointed your people to positions of responsibilities. Positions of what? Okay. For those of you who are still dreaming that something can come out of La République du Cameroon, please open your eyes very fast. Take a watch at this short video.
Kaketu is located about 6.8 kilometers away from the city of Kumba, but the poor road makes life difficult here.
The road is very, very poor.
As you see, the road is very bad.
Only few vehicles with improvised systems can access this road. The poor nature of the road has also forced open the doors for insecurity on this stretch. Farmers and road users find it difficult to get to their destination safely and on time.
Me say we no day. Me say even for we for move chop them for bush, we no day. Ukara them they suffer every day for year motor they suffer. Even carry cups so go for a come if go bury over that side. Now wahala.
Most people think that the government should bounce back on the project to construct this road following the triennial development plan, which saw the start of the road project in 2016 but was stopped by the armed conflict in the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon.
I beg me the government try help me. They help me. I beg.
Beg me government see they need me put you away for level. So we say government go let's see into a solution for our problem.
So this road, you go motor self expenditure. Even as small money, you work on motor, all you waste that all.
The road passes to Rumbonge subdivision, the largest in Cameroon, and gets to Ekono Titi and Mundemba, hosting the Pamo Plantation PLC and part of CDC farms. It is clear that villages along this stretch of road are rich in resources, but the people are discouraged by the poor road network.
Viewers, this is the road that leads to Mbonge, and the same road leads to Ndian division here in the southwest region of the country. This road leads also to Bongongo, which is the Prime Minister's village. The road is quite inaccessible. The population here, they are suffering because of this stretch of road. I want to let you know that there are so many farmers who cannot remove their farm produce to town or to the various market just because of the inaccessibility of this stretch of road. Tamfu Sidwan Dimye, my media prime, Kake, Kumba 1 subdivision.
Kake 2.
Did you hear what he said? That stretch of road leads to where? To Bogongo. Bogongo is the village of Mr. Joseph John Gute, who is Prime Minister of Cameroon. John Gute, you want to know, he comes from Bogongo, from Dian, specifically from a Kondo Titi local government area. And you want to know, if the appointments that is what La République proposes or offers to the people of Southern Cameroon could bring development, let me tell you how this Ndian would have been so seriously developed. Joseph John Gute was Director General of ENAM for several years, for almost 10 years or more. After that, he was Minister Delegate at the Ministry of External Relations forever, in charge of relations with the Commonwealth. From there, he became Minister without portfolio at the Presidency of the Republic. Thereafter, he has been Prime Minister now 3 years and counting. For all these years, what has happened to that road? That is all that the Indian people can get. And yet you stand and say, Paul Biya say, oh, Paul Biya is a wonderful man. He has appointed one of your sons Prime Minister. And then what? Listen, these are young people. They can't even harvest their crops from the farms. Everything, life is down. You see the kind of vehicles that can go there. And that same John Gute has been using this same road to that his village in Bogongo and going back. My people, this is not what Southern Cameroons will look like. No. This is not the kind of country we should be calling our country in the third millennium, 60 years after independence. No, 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 no. This is not what we want. The only benefit you get from La République du Cameroun is having Mr. Paul Biya's picture on the wall of your office, in your business premises, in your home, and worshiping it. Look at this. When Ukraine's President Zelensky said, I really do not want my picture in your offices, for the president is not an icon or an idol. Hang your children's photo instead. You see? Hang your children's photos instead and look at them each time you are making a decision. Listen, my people. I've heard some people criticize this particular statement, claiming that, it is, it is normal to put the president's picture. Zelensky is not saying you should not put the president's picture. When you read, understand, interpret, he is saying clearly here that if your focus will only be the president, you will make the wrong decisions. But if you put your children's pictures as well, and when you want to make a decision, you look at your children, what will you be thinking about? The future. Children here is a symbolism for the future, for posterity. You'll be asking yourself questions. The decision I'm about to make, will it impact posterity positively, or it is just meant to allow me to attract favors from the president or to get me maintained in this position because the president has the power to appoint? This is the fundamental issue here. Why do I bring it here? So that we begin to shape and reshape our minds as we prepare to offer the world a model country in the southern Cameroons, a beautiful country in Ambazonia, where we seek to reenact the functional democracy that existed between 1954 and 1961. My people, we should always have this at the back of our minds, where leaders were not deified, where our thoughts and our minds were not about the leader, but about the common good. These are the things that should stay in our minds. Texts like this, statements like this ones should inspire us to begin to reflect constantly and understand why we are fighting in the first place, why we must secure our country, why we must get it right back, why we must wrench it from the hands of those who want to reduce us or who have virtually reduced us to objects. Because we want to make a beautiful life. We want to create a country where opportunities will not be provided to people because of who they know or whose son they are or whose son or daughter they are, but because of what they bring on board, because of what they know, because of the contribution they are going to make. This is the country we are fighting for. My people, look at Ekondo Titi. Look at Mbonge. Look at Mundemba, resource rich. But where is the road heading there? But you'll be surprised that all the oil that La République du Cameroun sells on the international markets for billions. And then Mr. Paul Biya at one point was the sole manager of all the resources until the then Director General of the National Hydrocarbons Corporation, SNH, Atsumo, said that it was going to be so complicated for Cameroonians to understand anything concerning the oil that it could only be discussed between him and Mr. Paul Biya. All of that oil comes from Jan County. But that is the road going to the headquarters of Ndian. Ask the people of the Niger Delta in Nigeria what they did to even get royalties. My people of the southern Cameroons, we must continue to resist. I admire our courage. I enjoy our level of resilience. I am so proud to say I'm from Southern Cameroonian. I'm from Southern Cameroons. To say I'm an Ambazonian. My people, because we are showing to the world that we are brave. And now, let us move over into the beef of the matter. And for those of you who are just joining, I take you back first here again to Akumbaka. Remember, October 1 is around the corner. Akumbaka will be the name that you hear most on October 1 and thereafter. My people, don't say later on that I did not whisper this secret to you, that Akumbaka will be the next big name. Don't ask me who Akumbaka is, what he is. Akumbaka is the project that will enable us celebrate October 1 in total pomp and fanfare. And thereafter, Akumbaka, go through Zelle. Use amberrelief2018@gmail.com, PayPal, amberrelief2018@gmail.com, or if you can deposit straight in the account at Bank of America, do so. My people, this is the moment for us to change the mathematics. We have done a lot. And now we are simply moving one step forward. Don't be left behind. Don't bother whether what you are contributing is small or big. Put it in there. Between now and the September 20th, the 20th of September, we need to have collected this $6,000. We are not super ambitious. We are not wanting hundreds of thousands. Just that $6,000 to deliver the project we want to deliver on October 1. My people, be part of this project and be proud that you were part of it. Now let's move on to Nigeria. Mr. Buhari, Muhammadu, and his government, they say they want to assist La République du Cameroun to outdo Southern Cameroons. Now listen. I said earlier that the mere fact that La République du Cameroun will now be organizing public campaigns organizing public propaganda, coordinated international propaganda of the Nigerian government to try and see if they can demoralize and break the tempo of the people of the southern Cameroons is evidence enough, my people, that we have already done with La République du Cameroon. Now they need others to come in and support them because they're already on life support. That's exactly the message that this hot air that they're blowing translates. That is the message. That is hot air that blowing translates. Listen, Honorable Wiba said it in 2016. He didn't even wait until 2017 to say it. In 2016, he promised the Republic du Cameroon that when the people will rise, the entire army of La République du Cameroun, including that of colonial master France, combined, will not be enough to outdo the southern Cameroons. Some thought it was, to quote Ashonyenti, Bebep. Some thought it was Popo. My people, today, before our very eyes, everyone can see this coming on. So you see this hot air Nigeria and La République du Cameroon are blowing? It is desperation. Let me put things straight. Nigeria does not currently have the capacity to assist La République du Cameroon. They don't have. No. Buhari's government is rocked in a lot of problems inside Nigeria that the people's desire right now is even for him to resign and leave the country alone. So that project he's talking about assisting La République du Cameroon, he is alone on that project. He doesn't have the buy-in even of the governors of those states concerned. Listen, my people. I say Nigeria is in serious turmoil. Massive kidnappings or ransoms. Banditry has reached another level. Fulani herdsmen have even taken over the country, including Aso Rock itself. And I talk Boko Haram. Let me not go further into that one. Listen, they are unable to face all of these guys. And then added to this is rampant poverty, is serious, issues of unemployment. The Naira continues to crash. And then worse, a lot of the professionals of the country are on what you now call international exodus. Just watch this.
These are familiar scenes at job recruitment exercises in Nigeria. There is a special difference in this particular instance though, as these are qualified medical doctors applying for jobs overseas, in Saudi Arabia to be precise. What you can see behind me right now is the process of the recruitment of Nigerian doctors by the Saudi Arabian authorities. This exercise is currently ongoing at the Sheraton Hotel and Towers right here in the Nigerian capital, Abuja. Nigerian resident doctors have been on strike for almost a month in their demand for better working conditions, and negotiations with government have failed repeatedly. And the prospect of working for the Saudi government is now seen as a big escape.
The federal government is showing the cold shoulder attitude, doesn't show any kind of responsibility or being careful about the situation. I can't imagine, I can't believe my Honorable Minister of Health came out and he threatened us. So I think it does not make sense, or it doesn't make much. I mean, it wasn't the situation. To be candid, we're very, very disappointed. I personally am disappointed. When I go to where I work in a very critical care services of the hospital. But basic things that we need, we don't have. Some things I used to put in my money to buy what I need, just for the sake of the patient. And to worsen the situation and to make the matter worse in day by day, there is no any progress.
To escape from the hills in the society.
What do you mean by hills of society?
A lot of discouraging things. You see banditry, see kidnapping, incessant strike, and all those stuff. And if you can get a place where you can work, a place that is calm, a place where you can use your skill and you can be well enumerated, is it not better?
For Vivian Okolo here, it is more of a situation of heartbreak as she expresses frustration over the ever-worsening situation in the healthcare system, with this particular case in point.
I left medical school April 2011. My teacher is here. My own teacher, the first person I cited here was my teacher, a seasoned pediatric consultant. You know what it means? My teacher that taught me how many years ago, I'm giving up on the country, on our leaders, and I come here to meet my teacher. I mean, this is the worst. I never knew it has gone this bad.
The brain drain by Nigerian doctors to the proverbial greener pastures has for long been a known fact, but having a foreign government conduct massive recruitment of Nigerian doctors in Nigeria is taking the issue to a whole new level, and there is no telling the likely far-reaching effects of this down the line. Godfrey Eshamoge, Galaxy News, Abuja.
So, my people of Southern Cameroon, my people of Ambazonia, you can see for yourselves. Listen, you heard a medical doctor there say he's very disappointed in the federal government because the Minister of Health came out and threatened them. What does it bring to mind? In La République du Cameroun, you complain that, the working conditions are not the best. Threats. You complain that they are speaking French in our courts. Threats. You complain that our Anglo-Saxon system of education is under what? Ban. Threats. So there is therefore little surprise that Mr. Buhari and Mr. Paul Biya will think the same way, that they can close ranks together, because there are people, these are all non-Nigerians, who, have only one method in their minds, the old colonial method that they were accustomed to. That is why both of them are failing woefully. So if Mr. Paul Biya is failing and goes and meets another failed gentleman to assist him, what will be the result? Fail plus fail will become failed to the third power, or you call failed cubed or failed squared. And some people would joke by saying fail, failure, failest. My people, there is no point wasting time to discuss these issues. I pointed out earlier, and I want to make it again very clear, that Mr. Buhari is as alone as Mr. Paul Biya is alone in La République du Cameroun. So that is hot air he is blowing to make sure that Nigeria will support La République du Cameroun can't take him anywhere. Why? Number one, because the local population of Nigeria, especially those in the states bordering the Southern Cameroon, Ambazonia, they are extremely sympathetic to the cause of the people of the Southern Cameroons. And if you ask me, is it better to have the government on our side and the people against us, or the government against us and the people for us? I wouldn't hesitate even 1 second to choose the people with us, because it is these people with us that have been providing us succor and will continue to provide us succor until the end of our liberation movement. This is why Buhari fails, because he's not carrying the people along with him, because the people understand the clear justification of our liberation struggle. So there is no point, my dear people of the Southern Cameroons, to get worried about that hot air. Because what Mr. Buhari is saying today is something he has been doing since 2017. It didn't start today. Is it today that they kidnapped or captured Comrade Ayuk Tabe and co. from Nigeria and, shipped them to Cameroon? No, it's not today. The 39 from Jalingo, the 13 from Calabar, the many that have been taking. Is it today? By that time, we never heard Buhari. He has been doing worse than what he's planning to do, and that is the highest he can do. So, my people, there is no point fretting about this. So they're not saying anything new. It is simply because the morale of Mr. Paul Biya's scouts, the morale of the population of La République du Cameroun was and is at an all-time low. So they needed some kind of international propaganda to try and see if they could raise the morale of the people, and by the same token, to try and see if they can dampen the morale of our people who are so strong and so resilient to plant doubt in our minds. My people, there is no doubt that Southern Cameroon is real. No doubt that Ambazonia is real. So ignore the hot air. Focus. 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 Let us maintain our focus on our objective. We have done that this far. And this is my message to Mr. Bia. I love this guy. I love this gentleman. He says this: as long as the spirit of a warrior lives in the heart of even just one of us, the dance is not over. Did somebody hear that? Please allow me to laugh. I have the habit of laughing because from the point go, I have known that we are holding the correct end, the right end of the rope, that we're hanging on the right tip of the pendulum. Listen, as long as the spirit of a warrior lives in the heart of even just one of us, the dance is not over. And this goes back to what Honorable Weber told them in 2016. So we must continue, my people, to remain strong. All the hot air you hear that way, ignore it. Focus. And like I said, don't forget to be part of Akumbaka. I'll flash it over and over and over. And I'll come back to talk about Akumbaka over and over and over. We have to make October 1 a great moment. That will be making October 1 shout again. And so before I go, let me remind each and every one of us that when you pass through Akumbaka, you just stand on the line like this to enter this beautiful aircraft. This is an international flight in Southern Cameroon. We will have airports better than this. The most modern that you have seen anywhere in the Southern Cameroons. And this will just be in a matter of years. Because if you ask me, all what we need to do is continue doing things the way we are doing. Listen, and I want to be very clear on this. Listen, I don't subscribe to those who are discouraging anyone from contributing anywhere. If you have the feeling that your money is being used to do what you are contributing it for, contribute. By all means, contribute. No, do contribute. Anywhere you believe your money is being used for the purpose for which it is intended, contribute. This is how we will win. No point for anyone discouraging anyone from doing things with another person because it's not being done with you. My people of the Southern Cameroons, we need this synergy. Let us continue as much as possible to be active in one way or the other. In whichever group or whichever side you belong, be active. Contribute. We have to get there. Listen, because we're almost there. That's why we have to get there, because we're almost there. So, when you see La République du Cameroun panting, I remember I told someone in Boston, Massachusetts, that there will come a time when La République du Cameroun, because of our resilience, will begin to have nosebleeding. Yeah, they will call for negotiation. Say, get out! How do they get that nosebleeding? Am I talking? We are getting there. We are even already there. All what we need to do, remain focused. Remain focused. And trust me, we are going to get there. My people, have a wonderful rest of your day. If you're watching this tonight, have a beautiful night. And to God, as always, be all the glory. Thank you.